little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So you guys, today's reading is all about reassurance as well as the confirmation that you needed. So in order to help you gain clarity as well as peace of mind, I have prepared 4 groups that you can choose from, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. But of course, if you feel drawn to multiple groups and multiple crystals, then feel free to tune into multiple readings, because your personal reading, it could be a mixture between multiple groups. And before I get into the 4 groups, I wanted to let you guys know that I have created a special discount code for all of the Zodiac necklaces on my website. So this is one of them. I wear mine every single day. I have worn mine for like a year now. I wear it to work out. I don't even take it off when I shower. The quality is really amazing of these necklaces. And because so many of you have DM'd me about it, I decided to make a special discount code for my unicorn fam. So you can find that down below in the description box. So regarding the 4 groups, the 4 crystals, they are as follows. We have the black Tourmaline, we have the white Aragonite, we have the blue Sodalitic Quartz, as well as the orange Calcite. But the timestamps, as usual, are pinned to the comment section as well as posted in the description box for quick and easy access. So all you need to do is click your timestamp and you will be transported to your reading. So yeah, guys, that is it for the intro. I want to keep it nice and short. Of course, if you're new to my channel, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be starting off with the black Tourmaline, and to all of my other gorgeous groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the black Tourmaline, group number 1, which is a very protective stone, which may be the reassurance that you need, knowing that you're being protected, knowing that you're being guided. But let's move into your readings. I have prepared just 2 cards, and the rest I will be shuffling and laying intuitively, because I just find it the most authentic that way. So we have truth as well as flexibility. So one thing that I see here that you really need to hear, that is kind of like the reassurance that you need, the clarification that you need, is the fact that you're going to have to be a little bit flexible when the truth comes out. So whatever it is that you're worried about, whatever it is that is kind of on your mind and keeping you awake at night, I want you to know, group number 1, that it is not as bad as you think it is. Okay, so your worst case scenario is not how it actually is, but it is not the most ideal outcome. You're going to have to still be a little bit flexible. You're going to have to still be able to kind of just make do with the situation. So what do I mean by that? I know, very cryptic. So for instance, if you were hoping to get a specific job or to start your own business, it might not be as easy as applying for the job and getting it the first time, or starting, you know, your first venture and it taking off in the first days. That's not how it's going to be. You're going to have to show that you're flexible, that you're okay with negotiating certain aspects, and also that you're willing to hang in there, okay? So this is not going to be like something that just takes off instantly, but that also means that you're most likely not going to be a one-hit wonder, okay? So success will sustain for a longer amount of time, but the build up to success will also take a bit more work and effort. Then we have the 8 of Swords, as well as the Princess of Wands. So one thing that I see in the Princess of Wands is that the only risk that you kind of have is being impatient, group number 1. And I want you to just keep in mind that delayed gratification often bears the biggest fruit, is often just has the best outcome. So focus more on delayed gratification instead of instant gratification, as I can see here in the 8 of Swords, that, you know, you have a lot going on in your mind, and yes, you do kind of want to just like listen to your intuition, but at the same time, sometimes you just feel in your mind like, okay, well, you know, why don't I just push this along a little quicker? Why don't I just try and see what I can do here in order to make the situation just move along at the pace that I desire? But let it be, group number 1, okay? The reassurance you need is that you're protected, your situation is protected, as we have here in the black Tourmaline, and you just kind of got to take your hands off of it, okay? A very hands-off approach. We have the Knight of Cups. as well as the Empress group number 1. So this is just amazing energy. On one hand, in the Knight of Cups, we have somebody who knows that they're emotional, but knows how to handle their emotions, and can sometimes also be a little sneaky, okay? But they don't have evil intentions. And in the Empress, you know, we just have this flawless goddess, this beauty. So I feel as though in the Empress, we have kind of like this situation that has to do with something physical when it comes to you. So maybe something is worrying you. It could be your skin, it could be your hair, something that you just always struggle with and you just wish you could exchange it for a less problematic version of it, okay? So it could also be something like your digestion, group number 1. And I want you to know in the Empress that you're going to learn to kind of like coexist with this issue and to work it in a way how it becomes a non-issue, how you can embrace your goddess energy, your God energy, how you can just be the best version of yourself, feel the best version of yourself, and portray that to the outer world. In the Knight of Cups, there could be a situation here romantically that brings that out of you. As you know, we do have another person here. So it could be that a partner just makes you feel like the one and only, like the most amazing, beautiful person on this planet. And if that is not the case, what are you even doing with somebody who doesn't make you feel that way? Let's be real, group number 1. But at the same time, I want you to keep in mind that sometimes you have to be your own Knight of Cups. Sometimes you have to like kind of go to war against negative emotions about yourself is what I meant to say. Go to war about that and just, you know, be destructive when it comes to any kind of negative emotions. Of course, we're always trying to, on the spiritual path, not be destructive, not harm anything. But when it comes to self-hate, when it comes to negative emotions about yourself, group number 1, go in, go ham, sis, okay? Do whatever you gotta do to get rid of that, because at the end of the day, it's not good for you, it's not good for your physical health, your mental health, and it's also detrimental to your relationships. So just wipe it out. And then we have happy, as well as poised. Group number 1, I definitely see a glow up situation coming for you. I mean, we have the Empress, we have this poised card here, which is all about glowing up and just the outer world seeing you as somebody who is poised, seeing you as somebody who is effortlessly kind of elegant, who is effortlessly eloquent, who has a good head on their shoulders, okay? And in happy, I just want you to know that one of the reassurance kind of messages for you is that don't worry, it'll be okay. You will end up in the end happy, you will be comfortable, you will be in a situation where you're like, okay, it could be worse, it could be better, but overall I'm happy. Yes, there's room for improvement, but why should I say anything about improving constantly when I can just enjoy the moment? Why should I destroy this beautiful moment? So yes, there is still room for improvement, but you're landing on a really nice spot where you feel as though you're comfortable and you can focus on just those little extra steps that make everything feel extra perfect, if you know what I mean. Then we have chaos and conflict, as well as regeneration. So there will be a phase of chaos, group number 1. So I need to be honest with you. I am an honest tarot reader. I will not just tell you what you want to hear. I'm just honestly going to tell you what I see in the cards. So we do have chaos and conflict. We do have this transition from where you are now to like a physical glow up, a mental glow up, maybe also bossing up and being a better business person, better at your career. And I see that there is some conflict there, okay? Because you still identify with who you used to be. So this especially applies if you were bullied about something, or if you were told you're never going to make it in the business world, or nothing's ever going to come out of you, or you know, you're ugly, you're fat, you're too skinny, your skin, whatever, and then you glow up, you become a boss, your skin is flawless, your body's tight and in shape and healthy, and all of a sudden it's kind of hard to really fit into this new mold, into this new glowed up mold. Not that anything was wrong with you before, but you still identify with the things that people spoke negatively about before, even though they don't exist anymore. So that is where I kind of see a little bit of conflict and a little bit of a challenge. But in regeneration, I see that you can get rid of that in order to kind of like be okay with where you're at and to be deeply happy and to be very secure in yourself and not worry about how others look at you or what they may think of you. So yes, you will need flexibility. That is why we have flexibility within your reading group number 1. But it's okay. It's a transition that you need to go through. It's something that is unavoidable when you evolve, when you go through glow up stages. And I just want you to kind of like give yourself time and give yourself self-love in these instances. Then we have power as well as patience. One thing that I didn't mention is not only to give yourself self-love, but also give yourself patience. Give yourself time and know that it's not like an overnight progress. Know that it's not something that will just happen in a split second. It takes time. And I'm speaking from personal experience. You know, growing up, I was always like the chubby one, the fat one. And I was teased about that every single day. And then it switched to, oh, you're so skinny, eat a burger. And it's confusing. You don't know what to identify with. And it's best to just like be patient, to feel out what your body is going through and how you feel about yourself, and to just take your power back, to just say to yourself, look, whether I am considered fat or skinny or X or Y or Z, it doesn't matter, because when somebody is trying to use something physical to put me down or to make me feel lesser than, that's already where I just need to shut off. I don't need to categorize what can be seen as a compliment. You know how in the Western world being skinny can be a compliment, when in other cultures, you know, being fat, like being very curvy, is more of a compliment. Like, don't try and analyze whether it could be a compliment or it's just a straight up insult or it's just straight up negativity. Don't do that. It's not worth your time, and it just shows that you care. It just shows that you still seek kind of validation from outside. And it's important for you to just know that you're beautiful the way you are, and that the glow up you're going through, the situation that you're going through, has been tailored to fit you specifically. And it is your evolution, and it is beautiful in its own form and its own shape, and nobody should be given the right to make you feel any way about it or to judge you. So take that power away from the outside world and fill yourself up with just a well of power when it comes to this, okay? So if you're totally in agreement with this, if you find your reading empowering, leave a little tornado emoji in the comment section to let me know that you listened all the way to this point of the reading, and also to let me know that you enjoyed it. So group number 1, I just want you to kind of chill. I want you to keep your hands off of situations that you're trying to move along quicker, that we spoke about. Furthermore, take your power back and know that the transitions you're going through are beautiful. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So group number 1, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Wherever you are in this world, stay safe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the white Aragonite group number 2, and I want to move straight into your reading to figure out exactly where you need reassurance and where you just need to know that everything will be okay. So let's figure out exactly what's going on. So we have flow as well as embracing. The rest of the cards I'm going to be shuffling and pulling and laying intuitively and right in front of you, because I find that the most authentic. So I want you to know here that things are moving, okay? You may feel like you've been stagnant in certain areas of your life that worry you, especially like your career, maybe your love life. Also, personal development is kind of like an area where a lot of us feel like we're not doing enough, okay? And I want you to just embrace yourself the way you are, and in this very moment, know that you are enough. And group number 2, I know everybody says that, but sometimes you just need to hear it that one extra time to really take it in and say to yourself, yes, I am enough. So leave a little comment down below, leave a little like manifestation comment down below saying, yes, I am enough, because you are group number 2. There's no reason why you shouldn't embrace yourself the way you are right now, because if you can't embrace and love yourself the way you are right now, in this state of flow that you're in right now, even if the flow is a little slower, the stream is a little more stagnant than you would like it to be, then when things are moving quickly, you won't be able to think that that's good enough either, you know? So kind of just being okay and happy with the present moment already says a lot about where you're at mentally. So don't allow yourself to feel as though you know, things aren't moving along quickly enough, so I should feel bad about it. Group number 2, no, okay, that is not the vibe. Stay true to yourself, stay true to loving yourself, and don't allow any slower time in your life or what feels like a slower time to fool you, because sometimes certain areas of life are moving slowly and others are rushing by super quickly. So let's move further into your reading. We have deep knowing as well as to be fair. So one thing that I see here in to be fair is just the fact that you kind of have to weigh things. So if a situation is bugging you, work, personal life, or love life, you need to just kind of like use the wisdom and the knowledge that you already have. So if there are a lot of red flags with somebody, then just trust those red flags. We don't need to figure out why those red flags are there, because you are going to be hurt if that happens. As I can see here in your deep knowing that your intuition is not lying, okay? Your gut feeling knows best, group number 2. So trust it and don't feel like you know better. Not in this instance. This is not the right time to go test the waters to see if you're really true when it comes to your gut feeling or not, because inevitably you're going to open up a can of worms that you did not want to open up. And who wants to open up a can of worms? Let's be real, group number 2. But I want to move a little further into your reading to figure out more calming, reassuring messages that you need. So we have the King of Swords as well as the Seven of Wands. So if love is a big thing for you, I want you to know in the King of Swords that this is somebody who is authoritative, somebody who is very smart, academically educated, and sometimes a little too smart for their own good, because, you know, people who are mentally very, how should I say, very strong, very capable, very knowledgeable, they can often be a little saddened by the things going on in the world. So that is a struggle of this person who's potentially entering your life as somebody in a romantic sense. In the Seven of Wands here, I see that, you know, you may feel to a certain extent like it's you against the world, okay? And one thing that I want you to know here is that in the King of Swords, you have somebody who is just as much of a go-getter as you are. I want you to know that they are protective, they are by your side, and they're not afraid to take a bullet for you. So that is one thing that I see in this person in correlation to the Seven of Wands. Furthermore, in the Seven of Wands, I also want you to know here that you won't have to protect yourself against anything or anyone if you just listen to your knowing, to your inner knowing, okay? You have this sacred knowledge. It could be that, you know, your ancestors kind of go back into really kind of like tribes that worked a lot with plant medicine, that worked a lot with nature, the tides, the moon, the sun, like just all of the different phases and cycles, and use those in order to help them figure out exactly when to plant things, when to do things, you know, what time of the day it is, how the earth is kind of like shifting around. So I want you to know here that as long as you listen to that, what is still left in you, okay? Because genetics do transport, epigenetics, you know, they do kind of like, your genes are constantly changing, and you also get certain things from your ancestors, things that you may not have expected. So I want you to use all of those positives and to trust them, not to think that it's just a myth or just like a weird feeling and it can't be true. It can, okay? Group number 2, you need those reassuring words. Then we have Temperance, the King of Cups, as well as the Two of Swords. So we have more people here in your life. The King of Cups could be somebody who is kind of like a fatherly figure, but it could also be, you know, a mom that has always been the head of the household. And I see here that that person is the person that you should go to about issues where you're impatient, where you're overindulging, and where you feel like you're losing control. That is one thing that I see in Temperance. So if you're the kind of person who struggles with any form of addiction, it could be food, alcohol, other substances, you need to talk to somebody about it. As I can see here in the Two of Swords, that there's kind of like a conflict of interest. Like you want to lead your best life, but at the same time, not opening up and not getting help is not going to allow you to do so, because you're constantly carrying this really heavy burden around with you all by yourself, group number 2, and it's just not healthy. So talk to somebody about it. Talk to somebody who is older than you, wiser than you, and who can understand, who is still warm-hearted. So not somebody who is just completely clinical and analytical and will just tell you, well, you know what you need to do? You just need to go to a rehab. Not that kind of person, group number 2. I mean the kind of person who will listen to you, who will allow you to just cry if you need to cry, to say however you feel, and who is then going to just give you advice that they would give to their best friend, to their son, their daughter. You know, maybe you are their son, their daughter, but go to somebody who is warm-hearted like that, where you can feel taken care of. So we have a card that jumped right out of the pile for you, and that is community, group number 2. Okay, so I hope you can see it. Yeah, right there. So in community, one thing that I want you to know here is that you're loved in your community, even if you may not know or may not feel like it sometimes. It can be a very strange feeling to be in a community, especially if you just moved somewhere, or it's a community where you don't know a lot of people, but I want you to know that you're safe. Okay, I want you to know that people are watching. More people are watching than you know, and if something were to happen to you, they would notice and they would do something about it. Then we have a power. So group number 2, power is something that we all have, but the way we choose to distribute it, that is up to us entirely. So one thing that I see here is that you should just embrace the power that you have in certain aspects of your life that may make you feel uncomfortable. So what are those aspects, for instance, group number 2? So maybe you have the power to change meal plans at your work, at the school that you work at, wherever it is that you're working, okay? And you know it would be better to do things more plant-based. For instance, if you want to have a smaller ecological footprint, it's just an example, but if you have that power, use it for a petition like that rather than to use your power for something that is not really going to make a change, okay? Furthermore, in your personal life, use the power that you have to distribute your time evenly with yourself as well as the people around you, okay? Don't just always give everybody the best of you and then you just keep the rest of you. No, group number 2. You need a little bit of alone time. Take that bubble bath. Then we have change as well as miracles. So group number 2, we are ending your reading on a miraculous note, okay? In miracles as well as change, I see here that change is coming that is positive, change that is miraculous, change that will bring you to a point that you may be expected to be in like 10 years, but you're going to be catapulted to that point way quicker, or you're at least going to be in the gateway to know exactly what you need to do to get there instantly. And furthermore, in miracles, I want you to know that some unexpected gifts are going to appear shortly, okay? So unexpected gifts, maybe literal gifts, it may be an improvement in health, you know, just dealing better with who you are and just anything that is going on with you internally, mentally, and just feeling so much more in tune with your body and in tune with who you are, okay? So this change is positive change, group number 2. Embrace it, and don't forget to speak to somebody when you feel down or when you feel like you just can't handle it all by yourself. So group number 2, thank you so much for being here today during this reading. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're staying safe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the blue Sodalitic Quartz number 3, and I want to move straight into your reading. I have only prepared 2 cards. The rest I'm going to be shuffling and laying right before you because I just find that to be a very authentic way of reading. So let's move right into it. We have love as well as action. So group number 3, one thing that I see that you need kind of like a reassuring message on is the fact that love is something that will be fulfilling for you. Love is something that is coming into action. So don't be worried if you feel like your love life has been stagnant or a little bit dry, maybe even bone dry or dehydrated. Group number 3, I'm not trying to call you out, but you know, let's just say how it is. And I want you not to worry. I want you to know here in love that things are growing, but sometimes it takes a little bit of time for things to blossom, okay? And action is another thing that you sometimes need to build up to, especially when it comes to love. It's like some days it feels really bone dry and like nothing is happening, and then all of a sudden something happens and it's like your love life has been more active than it's ever been. So know that it can change from one moment to the next. You can meet a stranger miraculously just somewhere unexpected and your life will be changed forever. So don't worry about that, okay? You just need to calm your mind when it comes to love, group number 3. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles. as well as the Nine of Cups. So group number 3, in the Ace of Pentacles, I want you to know that any ideas that you have for business, for maybe entrepreneurship, they have a fruitful chance to grow right now, okay? There is the chance for a very fruitful start is what I was trying to say. So a start that is positive, a start that will allow you to be successful. Of course, you're still going to have to put in the work, okay? But it is already a better kind of time and a better sign for you to start something new when it comes to the earthly realms. So the earthly realms is anything that frees up more time for you, anything that creates better health. So for instance, a new diet, a new workout regimen, but also business opportunities, finances, those are the earthly realms. And the Nine of Cups, I want you to know here that in correlation to love, you know, we have fulfillment, we have a time of gratitude, and we have just this time of feeling safe, of feeling like you have somebody who understands you, who is loyal, who is not going to betray you. So keep in mind that sometimes it may feel as though nobody is honest on this planet, especially when you see it on social media and so forth. The people who you expected least to cheat, to go out of their way to hurt their partner, to not be who you thought that they were, end up still doing things that just shock you. And it makes you think to yourself, wow, if this lady or this man can't even find a good partner, what am I gonna do? You know what I mean? But I don't want you to worry about that. Within your reading, it is very clear that love is something that you just need to calm your mind about. Love is something where you needed the reassurance. Then we have Temperance. So a group number 3 in Temperance, I want you to know that just using anything that alters your state of mind is not really the right thing for you to do right now. And that could even be coffee. You know, if coffee makes you all jittery, then know that you're not really feeling all the feels. It's important for you to take action on that and to eliminate anything that is distracting you in order to be able to focus on the opportunities that we have here in the Ace of Pentacles that have to do with the earthly realms, group number 3. Then we have the King of Cups. So the King of Cups could be somebody who enters your life when it comes to love. The King of Cups is somebody who is strong, who is yet emotional, but in a controlled way, okay? So they are most likely of a water sign. They might be a Pisces, a Cancerian, it could be a Scorpio, just, you know, somebody who is deeply connected to their emotions, and they're most likely older than you, more mature than you, and more knowledgeable. So that may be something that you're attracted to naturally anyways, group number 3, but it could also be something where you kind of need to like step back a little bit and not feel intimidated and not feel like they think you're unintelligent just because they're older and more experienced. You know, they find you to be somebody who is fulfilling, somebody who is interesting, somebody who can see things from a fresh perspective. Just because you know less than your partner or your partner to be, your potential partner, does not mean that they see you as lesser than. I mean, of course not. They had more time than you if they're older than you. They had more of a chance to learn, and you're going to get that exact same chance. And then we have Power. Group number 3 in Power. One thing that I see here is that you just need to know that your personal power is something that you decide over. You've kind of been feeling a bit powerless recently. That is most likely why Power showed up, and why it's so important for you to just keep in mind that, hey, if I want to take my power back, then that is my right, and I can do so whenever. So whether it's somebody who is just kind of like on and off with you and you're over it, or it's maybe a partner that is disrespecting you, a family member, a work colleague, know that no, that is not in their power to decide however they want to treat you. No, you set your boundaries. You take your power back. You say what you're okay with and what not, group number 3. You don't have to tolerate BS. And I'm just telling you how it is. I'm an honest tarot reader. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And I just want you to know here that sometimes you have to set boundaries, especially when it comes to love, as if you're right now in a problematic, toxic connection, could also be a situationship, know that this is like what's keeping you from finding love, from cultivating love, and that is where you have to take your power back, and you have to know that You will never be happy if you give somebody else your power and, you know, they decide to abuse it. You shouldn't give it to them regardless, you know, whether you think the person would abuse their power or not. Even the kindest, most genuine person, if you give them absolutely all your power and they just know that no matter what they do, you're going to stick around and you're going to forgive them, even if they at times are going to just take advantage of that. And that is the honest truth. I mean, humans make mistakes, humans take advantage of things, and nobody is perfect and nobody is to be trusted to the extent that you give them absolutely everything of you. And there's no need for that. It's always good to have your personal power within your realms, and anybody who expects you to give up all the pride that you have and all of this kind of like self-love that you have, all of the things that you know that you deserve, anybody who wants you to give that up, it ain't right. Group number 3, that is just suspicious, because why would somebody want you to be completely powerless and defenseless and feel as though you can't do better than them? Red flags, right? Group number 3. So whether this is romantically, it could also be there are narcissistic parents, narcissistic friends, siblings, red flag. And I definitely see here that there's a reason why power has showed up in your reading, and it is for you to know you don't need to tolerate everything. You don't need to take everything that you don't want to take, verbally, physically, however. Take back your power, group number 3. Then we have success. So group number 3, don't be worried about your success or success rate. Success is something that is just naturally within your reading and that you're supposed to hear about. So there's a reason why this card showed up in your reading, group number 3, and there's a reason why you shouldn't worry about it, because worrying and stressing about not being successful is going to just pull more negativity in. When you're just kind of chill and you're like, I'm going to be successful, but I'm just going to work at it one day at a time. I'm not going to worry about all the negative that hopefully will not happen, then guess what? It's not even in your space, it's not even in your realms, you're not even thinking about it. Then we have a change in the wind. Group number 3, one thing that I see in a change in the wind is the fact that you're going to change directions in a way that you did not expect, okay? A change in the wind is often unexpected, and it is often pretty gentle, okay? Sometimes it can be a bit more forceful, but usually it's a gentle change in direction. In regeneration, I see here that you're moving towards more of a regenerative state when it comes to your mind, your body, your soul, okay? Moving more into your body. So if you've always thought to yourself, I wish I knew what all of these like yogis and meditation people meant when they say they feel very connected and rooted in their body. I see you moving towards that. I see you coming to a point where you feel so sacred in your body and so much like you're in your own personal beautiful temple that you have this kind of epiphany of like, wow, I just wholeheartedly love my body and love the skin that I'm in. Then we have observer as well as deep knowing. Group number 3, your intuition, okay? It's a big one. And I see here in correlation to observer that things that you're observing that you intuitively have a feeling about, people, situations, your deep knowing is right, and you need that reassurance. You need to hear it from somebody that you can trust your intuition, and that this deep divine wisdom did not just come from anywhere. There's a reason why you feel a certain way when you see somebody that you think is lying, and how you feel a certain way when somebody makes you feel like they're being sincere. There's a reason why those feelings arise. There's a reason why you get that kind of like gut feeling, that inner knowing, that sense, okay? And it is here to protect you. It's here to guide you. It's here to offer itself to you so you can take it and use it to protect yourself, use it to help you through life. So don't neglect it and don't just take it for granted, group number 3. So group number 3, wherever you are in this world, I hope you're doing really well. If you made it to the end of this reading, leave a little fox emoji down below, as we do have a fox here in the observer. And yeah, overall, I would just like to thank you so much for being a part of today's reading, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello Hello group number 4 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the orange calcite group number 4, which is a very revitalizing and re-energizing type of stone, a nice choice. But I want to move into your reading to figure out exactly what you need to hear. I have prepared 2 cards and the rest I'm going to be shuffling and laying intuitively right before you because in my opinion that is just the most authentic way to read. So let's get right into it. We have enlightenment as well as illumination. So group number 4, I want you to know here then that enlightenment is yours. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about spiritual awakenings, when you're going to have your first one, your second one at all, and what it's going to feel like. I see that a part of you is going to be illuminated in due time, and that could be a part of you that has been neglected. Maybe you've been telling yourself for a long time, oh, I should do yoga, I should do breath work, I should meditate regularly, okay? Not just one time, regularly, but you haven't done it. And one day, the switch just flicks and you're like, oh, like, I can really stick to this, and all of a sudden you get this pure sense of joy, of enlightenment, of just happiness, because you're so much more deeply connected to your body and yourself that you're like, yes, this is who I always meant to be, okay? So don't worry about your personal development, group number 4, that is the gist of this, and don't worry about how quickly it's coming or in what form it's going to come towards you. The universe never gives you more than you can handle. Keep that in mind. Then we have community as well as leadership. So don't worry about being a leader. Don't worry about messing up, especially if it's an entrepreneurial venture, a friendship, or something at your workplace, group number 4. I see here in leadership, in connection to community, just the fact that, you know, sometimes you feel afraid when you get an assignment or when you know you need to take the lead. You don't want to kind of like screw it up. You don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to do something that other people will see as a flaw or will make them look at you differently, okay? I see that leadership is something that you're naturally good at, and you're naturally good at it because you're empathetic. You're naturally good at it because you like to illuminate the things that are positive. You like to illuminate the things that bring joy, okay? That is one thing that I see in community, how we have this rainbow with the butterflies. You know, we have joy, freedom, just bliss. And that is the part of you that a lot of people envy. A lot of people wish that they could be a leader in the sense of being encouraging, just the way you are, group number 4. Then we have judgment, we have the sun, as well as the hermit. Group number 4, we have a very interesting combination here, okay? I see here in judgment, just the fact that you're coming to a realization that feeling bad about a certain aspect of your physicality, it could be your skin, it could be your nose, it could be your eyelashes, I don't know what it is, okay? But we all have something that we're not so happy about, but when we learn to just still love it and embrace it and work with it, that is when we get out of this trap of judgment. Notice how the judgment cards has like 2 mirrors here, and if you've ever stood between 2 mirrors, you look into one of them and it's just like endless. It just goes for like miles. The reflection just keeps on like going, if you know what I mean. And that is one thing that I want you to avoid in the judgment card, because once you try and fix like one thing in an unnatural way, you'll go and try to fix the next and next and next. And it's just like a never-ending cycle. So that is one thing that you need to be careful with, especially if things like plastic surgery are involved or just cosmetic procedures. I mean, yes, a lot of them are reversible, but you still should be doing them for the right reasons, and to be worried and to not be worried and to make sure that you don't get addicted to the idea of constantly fixing it. And yeah, do be worried about getting addicted, because a lot of people have gotten addicted and look where they are now. They're not happy with themselves. They're not happy with how they are physically. So I want you to know here in the sun that you should first ensure that you're 100% happy with yourself. You're doing things for the right reason, whether it's dyeing your hair or getting a rhinoplasty. Know that, you know, you have to do it out of your own space. If you have always felt like you weren't quite woman enough because you never developed, for instance, you know, the sisters, then get it done. That's something that you want, because it is just a feeling where you feel like you've missed out for whatever reason. If you felt like, you know, you never liked your smile all that much, not because of how other people perceive you, but just because you really just want those perfect teeth, go to the dentist and see what procedures you can get done. But come to a point where you know exactly why you're doing it, and the reason is you and not just society's pressures or what somebody said to you one time. Especially when it comes to toxic relationships, there are a lot of people who have been in toxic relationships where they have had partners point out certain things about them that they don't like, and in a nasty way, and that sticks. That doesn't go away, and a lot of people end up changing themselves and having these irreversible kind of scar tissue on the outside, on the inside, and just mentally from that. And pull yourself away from that, group number 4. I see here in the Hermit that everything that you need is within you. Everything that you need just comes from a place of reflection. It comes from a place of contemplation and from finding that deep-rooted happiness within yourself. Going out is not going to change things or make things better. Talking to friends about it, yeah, it may soothe you, but at the end of the day, you still need to go through this emotional journey and fixing things emotionally on your own. You know, this is your own journey. This is your own path, and I want you to embark on it and to focus on it, and to know that you're not lacking anything to successfully get to the end of the trail where we have the sun, and you're just happy, and any changes that you make are because they fit your lifestyle or they fit exactly how you want to see yourself in the future. So then we have Not For You, as well as Go the Distance. So one thing that I see here is that any kind of like quick solutions are not for you, group number 4. I see that you need to know that any quick deals, any like relationships that just seem to be too fast-paced in a way that you're not able to get to know the person before they want commitment or before they want to go to a certain place physically, you know, romantically. That is not for you if you feel pressured. I see here in Go the Distance that you're the kind of person who likes to kind of like sprint for a good amount of time before you're like, okay, this is for me, this is right. So test things out, and don't be afraid to be that person who asks a question 10 million times or who needs a lot of time. Group number 4, this is a reassurance that you need, okay? It is completely okay to take your time. It is fine for you to test a person even for many, many, many weeks and months, maybe even years, before you give them your trust, before you physically get close to them. All of those things are fine, and the people who are worth having in your life, they're going to understand, and they're going to do anything in their power to make you feel comfortable quicker, but they're not going to rush you. Okay, we have TikTok, group number 4. In TikTok, I want you to know here that you have to take little steps every day. So while time may freak you out, you may think to yourself like, oh my God, I'm already this age and I'm not yet as successful as I want to be, or I don't have the kids that I wanted, the family life that I wanted. What am I going to do? So that may freak you out, but I want you to know in TikTok that just as the clock ticks, okay, the same goes for the steps you need to take. The clock does not just go from 0 to 60 seconds just like that, okay? It's a step at a time, okay? It journeys, and it goes through this entire cycle, one little tick at a time. The same goes for you, group number 4. Take this analogy and apply it, okay? We have To the Sea, group number 4. Take this analogy and apply it to your life in correlation to the sea. I want you to know that things are going to flow the way that they need to, but the most important thing is for you to take one little step every day towards your goal. One little step adds up really quickly, group number 4, trust me. Then we have the Fates as well as Fork in the Road. So I want you to know here in Fork in the Road that you have choices coming towards you. You may feel sometimes like, you know, there are only obstacles, no choices, and nothing that you can change or adjust to your liking. That is not true, group number 4. I see here that, you know, you just need to kind of chill. You just need this reassurance when it comes to being able to know that you can always readjust. So even though you maybe studied something in school or you're studying something right now, doesn't mean you have to stay on that path forever. You can change into whatever you want at any given point in life. It's your life, so don't feel pressured to do something just because that's what you chose a few years ago. You evolve, you develop your personality, the things that you like, the things that are important to you, and you learn. I mean, for instance, just your diet. If you would have asked me 10 years ago what I think the best diet is, it would have been so different to today. If you would have asked me 10 years ago what I thought I wanted to be one day, I would have never guessed that this is where I would be in life, but I'm happy that I readjusted along the way, because as I evolved and grew and matured, I learned who I was, and I learned that certain things are cool in certain times of your life, but after a while you outgrow them, you know, friends, hobbies, also ideas of your career, and you move on to things that are more fitting for where you're at in life. And there doesn't have to be any bad blood, there doesn't have to be any negative feelings. That's just how it is. You know, some people are just meant to be in your life for a certain period. Some experiences are just meant to be here for a very certain amount of time to teach you so you can move on and continue to evolve. That doesn't make the experiences bad. That doesn't make those people bad. It just means that, you know, they fit into your life at that time. And eventually you moved on and proceeded in another direction. That is what we have here in the fork in the road, and there's no reason for you to feel bad, group number 4. It is a natural process that happens with each and every one of us. Then in the fates, I just want you to know that everything is going to be okay, okay? You need reassurance that, why did I say okay so many times? You need reassurance that everything is going to be fine. You need reassurance that the universe is on your side, that your guides are on your side, and that whatever it is that you choose to believe in spiritually, religiously, that it is something that you're fated to do. It's something that you're supposed to be a part of, and that will guide you towards light, towards goodness, towards positivity. So it doesn't matter what you believe in, group number 4. My channel is all inclusive, know that. But what is important is that if you feel like it's the right thing for you, wholeheartedly stick to it and embrace it, no matter what people say. So since we did have the sun within your reading, group number 4, if you made it all the way to the end of your reading, thank you for being a part of this, and leave a little sun emoji down below to let me know. I hope that you're well wherever you are in this world, and I'm sending you so much love and light and joy, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.